You know, sometimes I wake up and it's just not a great day for whatever reason. Like, I don't know. I really kind of contribute it to there's this coven of witches that go, let's curse Wade during the night and he'll wake up sad and lonely. And I'm like, Lord, just bless their ever-loving souls in Jesus' name. Because I need to flash back to some of these times. Forgive me, I've had tears this morning. And it's been good. But I want to flashback on some of the times. Like, I'll never forget when I went to church on the move for my first time in a long time. And I'm dating a witch, a professed witch. And I didn't even, like, back then I was an atheist, right? I'm trying to prove God wrong. So I didn't even think anything about it. I was like, whatever, witches, warlocks, devils, Jesus, they're all in the same Santa Claus story, right? But I'm on drugs. I'm like, I'm powered out on some freaking dope, and I'm taking copious notes. Like, what do you say? Or John, what 3:16? What's that say? Hebrews 4:11. You know, I'm taking down all the notes, and I've got all the notes. As a matter of fact, I've got a whole stack of them. Pages and pages and pages of notes. Just craziness. This is my favorite one though, because it's one of my first ones. Look at this, all the different chapters. Just copious notes of craziness, right? That was like my first 9 months as a Christian. But anyway, I'll never forget. I'm in 1,500. There's 1,500 people in this church. I'm late. I said, I want to get as close as I can. I'm going to see this guy's thing. And the guy's like, well, I mean, you are a little late. Like, church has already been started for 5 minutes because they've been doing, you know, the music and whatever. And I'm like, well, get me as close as you can. And I've got my friend with me, and my drug dealer, by the way. But anyway, he's like, hey, I found 2 seats right down front. So out of 1,500 people, sits me right down, boom, right here. Both of us were sitting there. And here comes Willie George, and he tells some stuff. And the person that is sitting right in front of me is my ex-wife's, my first wife's best friend. I won't name her. And her husband, which I didn't even recognize them. I didn't even see them. They didn't see me. You know, we're all eyes forward. I'm not looking at who's around me or whatever. I'm just kind of like, I don't want to be here. And Will George comes out and he says a little spiel and whatever. Hey, why don't you just tell somebody you're glad to see him in church today? And I'm like, oh, great. Like, I don't like that at all, because I don't want to touch you. I don't want to shake your hand. I don't even want you to know I'm there. I'm just here to prove this stuff to be wrong. And who's in front of me but my ex-wife's best friend, who knows everything about me and thinks I'm the devil and I'm on drugs, and she's right. And blah, blah, blah. And oh my God, she turns around. I see her. And we both go, ah, like, oh my God. And she's like, ah. And her husband's like 8'7". He's this big monster of a man. He's like, what's going on? And she's like, that's Wade Quinton right there. And he's like, what are you doing here? Like, I'm there to kill him or stalk him or something, right? And I'm like, and my friend is like, oh my God, what's going on? And I'm like, I'll tell you later. And they're both looking at me like, what in the heaven are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm just here to find out about Jesus. And she's like, oh my God. And she is scared to death. Anyway, he's like, shakes my hand, and just to show me like he's this big man. And I'm like, dude, you don't even know who you're messing with. I don't care how big you are. I'll beat you in front of all these people. Don't intimidate me, because I don't get intimidated. Anyway, we sit down, and she's looking over at me like, what's that all about? And I'm like, I'll have to tell you later. This is psychotic. Like, this is my first day in church, right? Anyway, later I'm going to church at that same place. I can't remember if it was this first day. I think it was the first day, to tell you the truth. And I don't remember that I wrote this part down because I was so like mind blown. And I want to find this sermon so bad. Matter of fact, I did send an email to the church the other day, and they didn't respond. But it said, hey, I wonder, might you have the sermon from, like, I think it was 2/24 of 2002 or something like that, or 1 or something like that. I don't remember. But anyway, I I didn't hear any response back from him, because I don't think we do, because that was cassette tape stuff. They didn't digitally back things up back then. But anyway, he says, he's going through his little quote, and then all of a sudden he's getting ready to do a spiel, and he's talking about stuff, and we got these events coming up at the church, and yada yada yada, and he's like you can see him just go, like the Lord's talking to him directly, and he's like, man, he goes, I don't know what's going on here. He goes, but the Lord is telling me to say these things. And he goes, and this sounds crazy. He goes, I don't even know who this is for, but it's for somebody here. And he says, you might be, he says, a musician, a country music artist, dating a witch that's on drugs and alcohol in church to prove Jesus wrong. And he goes, I just want to welcome you to church. And the person that I brought with me, who just met the person that said he's the devil, says out loud to everybody, he's talking about you. And I'm like, shut your mouth. I know he is. I'm like, God help me. And I'm like, I want to leave. Can't make it up. Can't make it up. It's the honest to God truth. I'm lying. I'm dying. Of course, we're all dying, but the world's been trying to kill me since Dallas morning. Anyway, here's a little story time with Wade Quinton. Woo! It's a wild ride. I've tried to tell you. Why did you call it wild ride? Well, because hang on, hang loose, or buck off. I'm just telling you, man, my story, it amazes me that I'm even still alive. But here I am. You know what else? Is that people come against me all the time. They're like, where? And I'm just like, I see you. And I just smile. And that's why this is why I am the way I am. Like, I've decided, because I thought it was because of the way I used to dress, and that I was, whatever, and I drove a Hummer and I looked like this. So now, the Lord told me to keep Dad's old beat up truck instead of keeping the Hummer. So I got rid of all my other cars. I had, 4 or 5 different cars, none of them super fancy except the Hummer, and I was like, I'm just going to buy another brand new truck or whatever. And he's like, Lord said, no, I don't want you to buy a new truck. I want you to keep your dad's old one and just run it until the wheels fall off of it. And I'm like, you know what my thought was, is I'm not ever going to get a girl in that. And he said, but the girl that you would get in that is the one you need. She's the one. If she'll take you and you're driving that truck, that's the girl you need. And I was like, yeah, good point. She got all her teeth. Anyway, but that's why I do this, is because, like, I kind of want to look like I'm the homeless guy that doesn't know anything about football. I don't know a dang thing. I'm the dumbest guy on the planet. And I'll let you believe that. You just believe that all you want. I mean, I might be the guy that developed the QA process for software, for the most complex software that you've ever seen in your life. I might be the guy that, who knows? I could just be an old dumb redneck. Probably that. Scrappy at that. Anyway, know I love you. Here's the deal. I'm a little train that could. I can and I will. I've seen me do it. Hang around. This is going to get crazy. I don't even want to do it. I want to quit now is what I want to do, just for the record. But I'm going to put it out there so at least when you're at my funeral, you can go, well, play some of his videos from that stuff he used to talk about, because we're going to miss that. And you won't have to miss it. You can just watch it out there. It'll be there until they delete me, which shouldn't be much longer, but enjoy while you can.